Welcome to Pay Time, Home Time, Pub Time, whatever we call it these days, with Robin and African Payment Solutions. This morning I read about Telegram possibly going ahead with their currency, leaving out America because they've got some legal issues there, and I think they were just trying to clarify whether, they would be pursued by the States if they did launch elsewhere. And I guess they have a level of comfort now that they could roll it out to the rest of the world without that concern, which is quite fascinating and quite exciting, actually, even though it's a centralized digital currency. So I attended a recent talk at Blockchain Africa by Hemash Kala of Beansprout Technologies, who's a really clever chap who did a lot of research on how the rollout of a digital currency like Libra, for example, could affect South Africa, and we could actually use those examples for a wider African environment. So, he highlighted some opportunities and threats of the introduction of Libra into the South African environment. And, this is kind of part of an ongoing battle between government and public money. There's obviously government and public, and then there's centralized, decentralized. Libra would be a centralized currency, although the way that it's structured, it has a high influence from Facebook, but actually it's being constructed or configured in a decentralized manner. So, but let's not go into that kind of level at this stage. But let's just run through South Africa, some stats about South Africa. It has about an 89% financial inclusion rate in South Africa, and has a relatively sophisticated financial sector. There's about 500,000 people, about 50% of the population is unbanked, and most of them live in rural areas. Half of the banked South Africans don't use their bank card for payments and just withdraw their salary in cash. So Facebook's got about 2.7 billion users, and Libra could seriously disrupt the financial services sector with the issuance of this coin, which would provide consumers with a stable store of value, peer-to-peer transfers. It would be really wide-reaching and be cross-border, and it would have mobile and internet payment capability, and this could be done at a really low cost of a kind of digital cash adoption. This obviously poses a threat to the central and commercial banking environment, and could be a risk to them in terms of capital flight. I mean, if you're going cross-border, like South Africa particularly, are quite tight in terms of capital controls. They're looking at controlling the movement of capital out of the country using cryptocurrencies, and they're looking to legislate that. They obviously would have a loss of control over money supply because Libra is a global currency. Local jurisdictions will have little or no control over it whatsoever. And they would be concerned about criminal activity associated with Libra if they don't have sight of it, and the fueling of imposter scams. We really had a lot of luck with OneCoin, PlusCoin, where individuals are not that clued up when it comes to cryptocurrency, so they're easily scammed. Anyway, it's still a way off, but it's part of the war between government and public money. The game is on. And this is part of our ongoing research in terms of, how the payment ecosystem is going to develop across Africa, which we make sure we understand clearly for servicing our multinational e-commerce companies with payment at the checkout. So I'd just like to thank Hemash Kala again for the inspiration for this. And yeah, that's all from me today. I hope you have an awesome rest of the day, and we'll chat again tomorrow.